know Afenyo marking when he called that papa bina Afenyo marking kwaje ne yire no ene ne da edi no sa papa no ne yire nua e feri jeje ene ne nsake ka papa ne ma no okay audio na me bo kire no. When he called the gentleman, what did he do? He wanted to intimidate the gentleman. He wanted to feel superior. He wanted to tell the gentleman that, you know what, I am bigger than you, and that the conversation we are going to have, no matter who you think you are, whatever I would say makes sense. Yours doesn't. I didn't say ano yentuminji court nindi. I didn't say court na say. I didn't say ano court na say MPP for court. The reason why we all came to that conclusion was because the posture of Torkonu, the way she did her things when it came to executing her duties, how she aligned herself, how she at the end of the day made sure say a case that is supposed to have a free hearing, how she was quick to take sides. When he called Nkorane Papano, you saw the way he started his conversation. It shows a man who needs attention. Listen to the conversation. After all these things, MPP for now, you see, Anini Yabua was the Chief Justice before Torkonu took over. The kind of resentment, the kind of anger, the kind of dissatisfaction Ghanaians had towards Torkonu's leadership as the CJ, no, it wasn't the same as Anini Yabua. Even though some people knew that Anini Yabua, at the end of the day, majority of people knew, say, he was affiliated to the MPP, but at least his posture. Anini Yabua maintained a posture that was very difficult for anybody to say he is an in and out political judge. If there's anything I'll give to Anini Yabua, that is what I'll give to him. Even though we knew he was doing the bidding for the NPP, he is an in and out NPP judge, his posture was always straight. And it made it difficult for people to be like, say, we don't want to respect the court again because the leader of Ghana court, and the judiciary head, his posture is bad. Madam Torkonu, basically, her posture was pure political. It was purely political, and you did not need to read her for long to know, say, she was doing the bidding of a politician or doing the bidding for the president of the day. Now, how did that affect the judiciary? At a point, we Ghanaians knew, say, we had issues with our judges, some of our judges. Now, until Torkonu took over, we got to that point who say, Madam Torkonu basically wasn't working as a Chief Justice. Madam Torkonu was basically taking instructions from the executive, and as low as going to Parliament to take instructions from a 46-year-old boy to make it her view when it comes to exercising her duties as the Chief Justice. So a lot of Ghanaians started asking, now court not say, and when people were saying, say court not say, the court is corrupt, people were not referring to individual lawyers, or judges, or people who work with the judiciary. People were referring to the head of the judiciary. Under Ekufuado Torkonu the judiciary did not have any better name. They were not attractive. Ghanaians didn't want to have anything to do with the judiciary because Torkonu's posture was so bad, it was so tainted, Torkonu was so political, and my Ghana for psychologically, who Judge Bia say Judge Bia, Sebio, with all due respect, is a liar. Judge Bia is political. Judge Bia basically is not doing the right thing. It trickled down. It came all the way down to the point whereby Torkonu was now suggesting judges who we all knew that they were not even qualified to be Supreme Court judges. It got to a point whereby a whole Torkonu suggested or suggested her secretary, her personal judicial secretary to the president to make her a Supreme Court judge. We got to the point whereby we saw Torkonu in less than 24 hours take decisions on proceedings in Parliament without hearing all the part involved in the issue that was brought to her in Parliament. So people now started asking, Adentina court na ye say, Adentina se say an yentuminji court nindi, I didn't say a court na say. I didn't say no court na say MPP for court. The reason why we all came to that conclusion was because the posture of the leader, the posture of Torkonu, the way she did her things when it came to executing her duties, how she aligned herself, how she at the end of the day made sure say a case that is supposed to have a free hearing platform, no, how she was quick to take sides. Afenyo was able to go to Torkonu in less than 10 minutes or 1 hour to make sure a case is called in court. That is where, when we talk about posture means. Now, we are talking about Mr. Bafuboni. And from the time Yatesenko for insinuating Ekekansem about we don't like Bafuboni, and most of them are coming from the MPP side, you know. I've not seen or heard or read any article as suggests to say Mr. Bafuboni is a corrupt judge. Mr. Bafuboni is opposite to anything that makes somebody qualified to be the Chief Justice. Now, it shows clearly, say, the man is qualified. It is just that some people feel, say, their party candidate, their party member was taken out of her position in a way they don't like. So they will find every single means to make it look like, say, Mr. Bafuboni does not qualify or is not qualified or is not supposed to be the Chief Justice of Ghana. So there are two different arguments here. One side feel very aggrieved. They feel very angry because someone they see as their party member, someone they see as doing their bidding for them, a former Chief Justice they saw as one of them, the way and manner she was kicked out, which they believe they saw nothing wrong with, you know. They have always had an issue with that, and that they believe is that because they never liked the way she was kicked out, you know, everything about Bafuboni should never be considered as legitimate. And this also MPP for now, they are not able to question Bafuboni's legitimacy. They are not able to question his integrity. They are not able to question how he has been able to be selfless as a judge from 92. Why wouldn't I see all the regimes? They have not been able to raise any issue of corruption against him. All that they are saying is that Madam Torkonu is our member. Madam Torkonu is our friend. The former Chief Justice is one of us. Why did she leave that office? We don't agree. Even if she is wrong, we are still supposed to keep her on top of the judiciary. So the MP for argument in Yan say, Torkonu nyakura, Torkonu abokrono, Torkonu ibibina emfa kwemukura. We as Ghanaians, we have to keep her because to them, Torkonu boneno enye bone maomo. They don't see Torkonu's sin as a sin because Torkonu is one of them. Into the argument these people are making, Afenyo making, and then the battalions, their argument was that why have you taken out our partner, our friend, our colleague, our MPP judge? They were not even fighting for integrity. They were not even trying to say, let us grill Bafuboni and see, say, he, at the end of the day, he is corrupt free. Let us grill Bafuboni and see, say, he has the intellectual know-how to be the Chief Justice. They did not even look at the part, say, let us grill Bafuboni and see, say, if he's given that position, he will not be political. He will not be partisan. They have forgotten about their principles, the reason why they have been made to sit on the committee. What they are more concerned about is that why have you hurt our darling girl? Why have you sacked our mother? Why have you made sure Osunu Maame has been kicked out of the office? The Bonina Osunu Maame DNO, the sins of Torkonu to the MPP is never a sin. But to every single Ghanaian, it's a sin. But to them, led by Afenyo Makin, it is never a sin. That is why I started this my tour by telling you, say, when we talk about the posture of the leader of the judiciary, it is very vital to sustaining the credibility and integrity of your judiciary. Because when the person leading the judiciary, the posture not yet the best posture, it affects the root. It goes down to affect the judges. It goes down to affect proceedings. It goes down to affect the integrity of the judiciary as a whole. But then, from what we witnessed today, Mr. Bafuboni has shown, say, when it comes to being confident, knowing the law, having the integrity, being corrupt-free judge, somebody who has a track record, we witnessed that today. But the other people never cared about that because Obeso will be the Chief Justice. Why don't you care about if that person can be a good Chief Justice? Why do you care about a former Chief Justice who, at the end of the day, went through the process? Torkonu herself never said she wasn't given the due process. She went through the due process. So if even you feel say Osromame or a part of your party no say moon say kwan bi so kwan yi na. Now, why don't you try and grill Bonnie? They have nothing on Bonnie. They know Bonnie is overqualified. They know Bonnie is somebody who can do the job more than their mother, Torkonu. They know, sir, Bonnie passed this test a long time ago. Now, because they cannot stand Bonnie, because they know when it comes to pound for pound, they cannot ask Bonnie any question that he will not be able to answer. They try to divert their attention by protecting their political judge, who is Torkonu. And the highest form of foolishness from this 46-year-old boy who is leading a group of old men with gray hair in their anus, fooling themselves and not allowing proceedings to go on. What we all witnessed today on TV, it should tell us one thing. The NPP is a political party filled with ignorant fools led by a young, arrogant, selfish ingrate who thinks everything about parliament, politics is supposed to be combative. That is the childishness in this political criminal. The reason why I call him a political criminal is because he has a criminal case on the desk of the Attorney General. Now you understand. What they did today, it has not changed anything. Ghanaians have come to see the difference between a party that basically follows unnecessary arguments, a party that ends up omudi inkwara. They think say every day is a fight. Every day is a mad fight. Every day, let's wash our anus in public. Every day, it should be about us. This boy, Afenyo, he uses the NPP to clean his ass because he wants everything about them to be about him. And they are so foolish to the point where they don't understand. They are not intelligent enough to see, say, this 46-year-old fool, this boy has nothing for them. And they keep following his foolishness. And every single day, the integrity of the party keeps breaking down because they have refused to understand the say. And they are say, they are not intelligent enough to know, say, this boy is fooling them. This boy is using them to build his own negative political career. And that is how, the whole proceedings, when they came, they said, yeah, they were not really coming to ask questions. They were coming to attack. Then if you want to attack, you need to attack by having basis for your attack. But you cannot just attack vaguely. And that is the thing. Sir MPP for Jimmy Fowe, they don't understand. You want to attack somebody. You want to find a way to make the person feel uncomfortable. You need to have a basis for doing that. Now, so when you basis to attack somebody, then it makes your attack look like you are crazy. And that is what this guy exhibited today. Because all the things he was trying to do, all the unnecessary attacks he tried to create, at the end of the day, he didn't have basis for it. And the NDC did not allow him to do then to exhibit that his foolishness today. That's why today you realize, say, what they wrote for him, the game plan they gave him, the moment the NDC majority realized that the game plan is to distract the process, he became very useless, and the only thing he did was to say that we are walking out. But before that, this Kasongo, this political criminal whose docket is on the desk of the Attorney General, this guy went on Joy News, the fake news, Joy News, to tell Ghanaians that they, the minority, will never walk out. Now, this is what he said on Joy News before they came to the vetting today.
Boycotting is vice chair. Boycotting is out.
So categorically, you will not boycott.
We will not boycott it. Anybody who is expecting us to boycott, I say here and now, we will never boycott it.
So what will you do instead?
We will do what is right.
A few moments later.
We cannot be part of a process that would give rights to another and deny another of her bona fide as enshrined in the Constitution. Chairman, that said, we would yield to you to proceed whilst we exit this committee room with our views well documented for the records, and on the floor we shall proceed with the debate, further stating our position and take a vote against the nominee as required by the rules of the plenary.
Boycotting is
Vice Chair.
Boycotting is out.
So categorically, you will not boycott.
We will not boycott it. Anybody who is expecting us to boycott, I say here and now, we will never boycott it.
So what will you do instead?
We will do what is right.
A few moments later.
We cannot be part of a process that would give rights to another and deny another of her bona fide as enshrined in the Constitution. Chairman, that said, we would yield to you to proceed whilst we exit this committee room with our views well documented for the records, and on the floor we shall proceed with the debate, further stating our position and take a vote against the nominee.
Do you know the problem I have with the MPP? 90% of the people following Afenyo, they are older than Afenyo. It's terrible, right? And there you say, it shows how the party lacks leadership. Oseche Mensa Bonsu, where Jimmy Kurano, you know, work out. Oseche Mensa Bonsu. Or ya corrupter with Jimmy Kurano, Oseche Mensa Bonsu will never work out. He will find his way to make sure his colleagues on his side find a way to ask their questions. Oseche Mensa Bonsu, where Jimmy Kurano, as corrupt as he is, he will never foolishly, stupidly, childishly walk out and say, "Wa mama dia mi penti, I am walking out." Assuming say, and I say, it looks like I say anka amaswa. Ebia, just say in their head, you know, so nya enkoso. Now you get what I mean. Anytime I catch you say, the people following this guy like a dog, you know. 90% of them, they are older than him. But you see, the NPP lacks leadership. The NPP, they lack what we call somebody to talk to them and say, "Ye penyini, ye obia on your temperamental, ye obia obetuma composing under pressure, ye obia he can sit through fire and still maintain his composure and make sure we get what we want." This child is being followed by old men, and he's using them. He is using them. This guy was born in 1978. A kid. He was born in 1978. And look at the people following him. Look at those following him. Look at the video. Watch. I'll play the video. See the people following him. Every one of them is older than this guy. But the NPP is so foolish. They have no leadership. They have no reasoning. Nobody is able to step out to say, no. This is not a contest. This is not content creating. This is not a banter. This is strategic. We need to be smart and intelligent going forward. Because the people sitting there, the majority, they are not stupid. They have lawyers amongst them. They have people who have been in this court with us for years and understand the proceedings. These are not people we can just bulldoze our way through. So we need to have an extra smart people to lead this charge. But these fools, anytime we can say the party, or says Chairman Sabons, where Jimmy Kurano, where Jimmy at the time, where Jimmy no, he will not fall for this foolishness. He will never fall for this foolishness. And you see, today I saw something. You see, this guy, he has always been a bully because of inferiority complex. Since ana onyine wan se de nya ni party tribianka say, wo de wo fie ye o, wo de ufre busuan we mu. His life has all been about I was struggling here. So he has always wanted to belong. He has always wanted people to notice him. These things he's doing, it is about the things that he was denied when he was growing up. And until today, everything about him is about what I wear, how I look. Look at what this one is wearing. Look at it is the inferiority complex. It is about where he was dug from. In his life, where he has gotten to know, everything is about being combative. Everything is about what I want. I need to get it. So he fails to use his basic brain, the reasoning brain that tells you, say, you are a leader of a group. And the leader of a group, you need to understand every single person have their own opinion. And you need to understand you don't speak for yourself. You speak for everyone. Your actions represent everyone. And you have to be careful the way you conduct yourself in public. But this guy, he is not intelligent enough to get to that point. He's a 78 born. Osa. But you see, the MPP, because majority of them, they are not seeing these things. Yeah? Choosing a leader in parliament to lead a political party, it is not about somebody who is screaming every day. It is about somebody who is tactically smart. Screaming. Kwasiebia to be screaming of parliament. Look at the Tolong MP Ana Ote Akwa Winchen. This guy is somebody who has a criminal case hanging on his neck in Australia. Look at this guy's face. Can he make any intelligent submission? The 78 people, they could not get any intelligent people to say, "Hey, Akwa Bawi, a former macho mani, Wejagbawi MP, former macho mani ana onom weightlifting pills here and the unye binumia. Why say when you is in a way, Jerry? Sa former tag here not in Tamon Nadi, and ye Jiminti Wabe MP, a Bawi. Akwa no nom GNC o sedi endien weightlifting pills near the idea obey 10 time and also Jaya why said when you is in a way. These people, how can these people make any serious suggestion? How can they question Bafuboni? On one gets a shame go on your mobile, or say half of them are dumb idiots. You see, this guy, they be catch MPP for. There's something he's done for a long time. He has always wanted to suppress people. You see, he's a master of bullying. He likes to bully people to make himself feel okay. Okay, sa abrantie bi na Afenyo make kofa ne yire a osa ene ne yire kodaya osa ma ne yire ne nua ne abrantie ne mba ode ne nsakeka omo a Afenyo make efre abrantie no it's that thing. He always wants to bully people. He always wants to feel important because he was denied that when he was growing up. When you look at him very well, so Ojina Parliament kasa Ojina Bebia kasa, you could see, say, he's yearning for attention. It is something that he was denied in his infancy. He did not get the opportunity to lead. He did not get the opportunity to be called. He did not get the opportunity to be noticed. So this is his World Cup. And you see, the moment he gets in that mood, he forgets that he's in a leadership role. So everything becomes creating content about himself. And okay, say at a point, he was fighting a mere reporter that do not address me as the leader of the minority caucus. You see, it was something that he was so much into. And so person akwara and nkwara brim, they were denied their childhood. That is a typical example of a kid who was denied at their akwarenya. Sanka brocheno wa anka they put him through some therapy. Yeah. When kabrocheno wa anka na yire beshada pe a psychologist, a therapist. Not every week because he's suffering from something called a self-depreciation syndrome. He's always at the negative. So he suffers from SDC, self-depreciating syndrome. Debia is in the negative. So he wants to find a way to be seen positive. Into Debiano, it's all about bullying people with a little opportunity he gets as a leader. Now, this guy and Ayariga can sing me, and I'm going to play the banter between Oni Ayariga. You see, Ayariga said something today. It has become something you have been doing here during veterans. You deliberately decide to bully people. And you see, because MPP don't Jiminti, they see that as somebody who is fighting for them. They don't see that psychologically their leader needs therapy. any psychologist, any therapist, Afenyo Makin stand in 2 minutes, or because you have a big problem. Yeah, Afenyo Makin. Or not therapist be or yet qualified or America, Papa be 2 minutes. Or say, you have a big problem. We need to work on. And that problem, no, and no na MPP for who. Only a whole reporter. He fought a reporter. And you ask yourself, why? Why are you fighting a reporter? If a reporter says, you are the leader of the minority group, what does it take from you? Afenyo Makin is a Bangladesh who is enshrined in Bodafidi. That is all. He needs a therapist. He is a Bangladesh enshrined in a Bonafide kind of thinking. And that Bonafide kind of thinking is what he needs a therapist to help him with. Afenyo Makin needs help. Oyamwa as a human being, he needs it. He doesn't want to admit it. Afenyo Makin Hiamwa is a Bangladesh enshrined in Bonafide thinking. He needs that help. Afenyo Makin thinks that he can bully everyone around him. Afenyo Makin thinks that he can make noise, he can scream, he can make it look like I am the one fighting everybody. Afenyo Makin is suffering from self-depreciation syndrome. And the Bonafide thinking, no, it has Bangladeshed him. So this guy, any therapist who is smart, on the next 2 minutes, I can say, you really need help. Now, let's go listen to Ayariga. Ayariga Kasemi. And it's very important.
But you can't just be allowed to run down everybody and get up and walk because you are Afenyo Makin. Why? It will not be allowed. I am going to look, this whole issue about you making a preliminary statement, show me a rule that says that you have a right to make a preliminary statement. Show me in our standing orders anything that says that you, Afenyo Makin, have a right to make preliminary statements. You don't. Listen, we developed it as a practice. We developed it as a practice where normally the two leaders may make welcoming statements and general open statements, but you have converted it into a platform to do a press conference where you attack and impugn people and walk away with it. I'm saying that today you will not attack anybody and walk away once I sit in this committee. Don't. We developed it as a practice. We developed it as a practice where normally the two leaders may make welcoming statements and general open statements, but you have converted it into a platform to do a press conference where you attack and impugn people and walk away with it. I'm saying that today you will not attack anybody and walk away once I sit in this committee.
You see, Ayariga basically explain who Afenyo Makin is in a very diplomatic way. That is what he does. He uses these opportunities to impugn people, attack people. And then what he does is then he claims that he is the victim. He's suffering from something. He needs a therapist. Actually, I won't study Nipa. We are not kids. So I have studied the guy for some time. At a point when he was doing his foolishness back and forth, I told my team, say, you know what? This issue of preliminary statement, you know, that statement is not in the law. If I were the chairman and people giving this preliminary statement and all these statements, I would have said, say, if left and right are not agreeing on this preliminary statement that they are giving, I'm going to quash it. Let's go straight and ask questions. Because it was just a waste of time. He was basically wasting the nation's time. It was the inferiority complex and syndrome that was showing. He always wanted to banter. He always wanted to be seen. So if I were the chairman, I would have said, say, you know, this is just a practice. It's just a practice. We are not bound by any law to make sure, say, leadership gives statement before we start our vetting. So what is going to happen is, in fact, guys, let us cancel the prelims. This preliminary statement, let's cancel it. Let us go straight and ask questions. They wouldn't have agreed. You know why they wouldn't have agreed? Because when you take away that preliminary statement, you know, it makes Afenyo Makin look stupid. Because these are the small opportunities he takes to feel important in his skin. So we are smart now, we're studying it for a long time. time Omoko demonstration, this assault case on him. How many people were there heckling with the police? How many people? When you check the video very well, Afenyo Makin was not even right in front of the police officer. There were about 4, 5, 6 people in front of the police officer before Afenyo Makin. But what did he do? He jumped through the people to knock the police officer in the face. He needed that presence. He needed to be felt. That is the syndrome. He needs a therapist. Afenyo Makin is suffering. And people think, say, this is a normal thing. He's being combative. No. One day, Akwa Webejan 1 and 2 Okrum, because you see, the things that he was searching for when he was young, he didn't get. He believes, say, in his head, he needs to be combative to get that. And it's out checking even his assault case and how it happened. You ask yourself, say, the scuffle that happened, police phoning Kofoya back and forth, you were not even right in front of the police officer. Afenyo Makin had to penetrate to go and knock the policeman because at that moment, he feels to say, I need to stand out negatively. And he penetrated, went, looked for the police officer, and knocked him. Into the baby and free and obo police ninasum. Because that syndrome, no, what it hates is attention. And every time he gets that attention, you will see, say, or exhibited the highest form of that self-depreciation syndrome. It is not because or a combative, it is because he needs a therapist. Somebody needs to sit him down. A professional needs to sit him down and say, you know what, mister, apart from your whatever, you need to understand that psychologically you are not in the right place. Because when you get the opportunity, what you do is that you want to impugn, you want to make people look like you are better than them. It shows clear that you are lacking something. You still want something. At a point, he was in parliament discussing Atade Obishe. And you know what? Look at the shirt he's wearing. Look at this shirt. It's very expensive. It is somebody coming from a poor background. Obia Ehiano. Obia when you had the opportunity to enjoy as a child. Obia when you had that luxury to be seen. And he has been like a chicken since he was a kid. We are not kakra because of his foolish leadership. Oberman be a leader. So you see, the moment he became a leader, he started disrespecting everybody. Everybody's an idiot because he has been waiting for this for years. Afenyo Makin needs help. Now listen to this guy.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I shall proceed with my opening remarks, which remarks I make for and on behalf of the minority caucus of this committee.
Honorable Minority Leader and the ranking member of the committee, I shall accord you every respect and the time to raise your issue. My only hope and prayer is that whatever issue that we are going to raise must be raised within the rules that governs this committee as well as the entire parliament. The floor is now yours.
Chairman, thank you very much. I shall proceed my remarks with a quote from Shakespeare's Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 7. First, as I'm his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed.
See, look at this. You see, it's about him. You see, he lacks it. He needs to see a shrink. The guy is not well. He needs a therapist. He wants everything to be about him. And you see, the Emiyan say the NPP as a political party, the 87 piglets, they don't see it. Today, the NPP or the minority, they could have sat through this and questioned Mr. Bonny. Seriously. But because of this child who everything is supposed to be about him, because of this child who thinks that if it is not about me, it should not be about anyone, he started Macbeth. I'm quoting from here. And do you know Afenyo Makin? When he called that Papa Bina, Afenyo Makin kwaje ne yere no, and then die no. sa papa no ne yiri nua eferi jeje e de ne nsa keka papa ne ma no okay audio na me bo kire mu no when he called the gentleman what did he do? He wanted to intimidate the gentleman. He wanted to feel superior. He wanted to tell the gentleman that, you know what, I am bigger than you, and that the conversation we are going to have, no matter who you think you are, whatever I would say makes sense. Yours doesn't. And until that when he called the gentleman, he started by saying, who are you? How old are you? Well, listen to this. You remember this? In Kwarana, Afenyo Makin, the girlfriend, Ninuya, listen to the conversation between Afenyo and the man.
Just sit in the school for them to come.
You made the complaint to National Security.
That is so.
I need the right audio to play. Afenyo Makin, at the end of the day, Meba, when I get a video, I'll play it. Afenyo Makin of Fred Bermano. The first thing he did was that, Tim, get me the audio. The first thing he did was that he told the guy, who are you? I am Afenyo Makin. How old are you? You don't fucking know the person on the other side of the line. You don't know who you are talking to. Na nipa na one na yire da no. Nipa no na yire ne da no. Wan kan kire, wan musa o yire oba ne se be man we design. At least the court document should tell you. Say, Bermano or you'll be a wawariawo. You don't need to be asking the person, how old are you? It's inferiority complex. He's suffering from that deficiency, that syndrome. He's struggling. The guy needs a therapist. When I saw him this morning, when I saw Afenyo Makin this morning, leading the NPP and say, we are staging a walkout. Right now, when you go on the NPP people, their platforms, do you know what they are doing? They are now trying to defend boycotting and walkout. See how stupid they are. Now, their defense, are they already defending Afenyo Makin and say, oh, boycotting is different from walkout. At the end of the day, what we wanted to achieve, did you achieve it? No. Insuonable and insuonable. At the end of the day, Obana draws more for. It is not about boycotting. It is not about walkout. It's about what we wanted to achieve. What we wanted to achieve was for you to go and question the Chief Justice. Were you able to do it? No. So such idiots who cannot differentiate between cancel and review today are on social media trying to preach about boycotting and walkout. And such fools are the ones trying to explain to us the difference between boycott and walkout. We didn't walk out. We didn't boycott. We walked out. You are stupid. Jimmy. And nobody is taking the new group of people serious again because they were adults. Not in penifo the boy wechi. When they were walking out, see the number of people are now omudine chair they were walking out. These are all older people. They are all supposed to know, say, boy, we need to stop it. This is Afenyo Makin. And all these people following him, walking out, following him. At the end of the day, what happened was they didn't even question to say, hey, Boga, na ya sorry akono. The issue is what actually happened.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I shall proceed with my opening remarks, which remarks I make for and on behalf of the minority caucus of this committee.
Honorable Minority Leader and the ranking member of the committee, I shall accord you every respect and the time to raise your issue. My only hope and prayer is that whatever issue that we are going to raise must be raised within the rules that governs this committee as well as the entire parliament. The floor is now yours.
Chairman, thank you very much. I shall proceed my remarks with a quote from Shakespeare's Macbeth. Law. We gather to vet an issue. Instead, it has become a test of whether Ghana's judiciary.
Chairman, the nominee who is here to be vetted.
Yes. No, she believes in us.
So far, we have extended to you every courtesy. we've had well grounded in law. You may to you to proceed whilst we exit this committee room with our views well documented for the records, and on the floor we shall proceed with the debate, further stating our position and take a vote against the nominee as required by the rules of the plenary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. But how do you reject a nominee who is yet to be vetted?
Yes. No, she believes in us.
The report is not ready to be voted for. We are not at the stage of approval. So your conclusion is very preemptive.
Chairman, with respect. Chairman, with
this is not what I want you to respond.
No, Chairman, but
I don't want your
Chairman,
response
to the extent that you've raised it, I just need to. Our position,
Honorable Minority Leader,
that we have rejected. We don't need to
agreed on your position.
We rejected, and we
agreed on your position. Yes. When it is time for voting, then you can vote again. Yes. So we thank you very much, and we wish you a very good luck. Honorable members. Yes. Honorable members, those present here.
Nkokora na omudi saa boy we echi no. Nkokora no, they are making this young boy fool them. Omamudi na chi nyina chano. What will make all of them not to sit and say, hey, fine, you are a leader, but you are not older than us. Unim nyansa sir, relax. And they are making this boy who is suffering from a lot of things. Afenyo Makin, if you are watching me, wherever you are watching me from, as a Ghanaian, Ghana need to send me, I'm sure. I want to tell you this. You need a therapist. You seriously need one. I've seen a lot of things. Maybe a Ghana unhuye, but your level of a year, the way you are struggling, you need somebody to help you. I'm telling you, you might be pissed off, and then you might say, but the honest truth is that you really need somebody to help you. Because say one jantum Emma Obiam Wawa Afenyo, I am telling you, you're going to struggle. Politics is going to be tough for you. The way you are yearning for attention, the way you want everything to be about you, the way you just I'm sorry. Where is this playing from? Give me this shot. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Me tetafo na me buy me baton fish. Ewo asafo market. Ya me be wan wo hwe me. Da bia no pa me so dia wo yem tiama me. Awia ne ama me eto afufu anwuma so ne asebo me. Efiri se dum so ba me ba no fish adaka duasa ne akoto agu kwa. Eti na me ba no wonya sika ma me na me de didi. Efira no pa me ba me ni di yo. Eno ani bodo se hwan. Ana me bedu ha no mato bi die. Me ba nya sika ma me wo boss ante. Se de adwuma no nya dum so. Abrowa de me na ye nyina firi dum so. Me ti asi me de me sumu ho. Ne mu ya ansa me da fom bi.
So Afenyo is watching. Afenyo, I'm telling you, you need help. It hurts me telling you this. But quietly, if you don't want anybody to know in Ghana, leave the country and go seek help. You need a therapist. You need a shrink. You need somebody to sit with you to tell you your problem. Majority of the people are omutimende, omunimse was our problem. No, you are suffering from this inferiority complex. You are depreciating. in complex. On say of friend man no. They catch them say video be audio number watch him no. When he called and Korane Papa no, you saw the way he started his conversation. It shows a man who needs attention. Listen to the conversation.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
This is Afenyo market.
Okay. Yes, I missed your call this morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I called you, huh? How old are you?
Sorry?
How old are you?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
I said, how old are you? What's your age?
Sorry, sir, I want to understand why.
Okay, I'm your ex-wife's lawyer regarding the custody of your kids. Okay. And I sent my junior lawyer, Deborah. Mm-hmm. You remember the drama in the school on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that ended at the police station, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying, how old are you? There's something I want to tell you. That's why I'm asking you. I'm talking to you as a gentleman, as a brother. What's your age now?
I find it difficult to answer this.
Okay,
question.
No problem. If you won't answer, let me tell you something. I'm a family man myself, okay?
Sorry, come again.
And I'm saying I'm a family man myself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to you as a brother.
Okay.
I don't want to pull the law. Okay? It will be waste of energy. But I want us to find a way of...
Now you see, I was telling you, say, oh, here a therapist. Now he's like, oh, how old are you? This is somebody's dad. This is a woman you are sleeping with, her husband, a matured man you are calling. You have sent people to this man's kids' school to go and kidnap them. And you play it like a shallow state. Oh, where about the incident, my Deborah, my associate, the incident that happened in your kids' school. You sent kidnappers posing as national security operatives with one of your associates in your law firm, and you call the man to ask, how old are you? About the incident. Now, after Mark and Kwasia, Obina and Kakoche Oba on the school, and come back to TV to say, and come back Freddie Panaka say, oh, how old are you? What is your age? The disrespect. So I keep telling you, you see, the guy needs a therapist. Every single place Obe Nipa 1, 2, 3, this syndrome will show. Any day, it shouldn't surprise anybody in Ghana. This is, he went ahead. I don't want to pull the law because it's a waste of time. Don't want to pull the law. What are you trying to do? You are threatening the person that you know the law. He doesn't know the law. So you can use the law to intimidate the person. You don't want to pull the law. What do you mean by you don't want to pull the law? Are you the omnipotent of law? So it's all about, do you know me? Do you know what I do? Do you know what I represent? Don't you know Afenyo Markin? I am sleeping with your ex-wife. His brother molested your daughter, but it's a normal thing. So tell me your age. Foolish man. How can you do that? And that is why I keep telling you, and more MPP for no parliament, you know. Some open year, more fun leader, you need help. Afenyo, you need help. I am talking to you as a brother. Quietly exit Ghana, go to the UK, come to America, come and find a good therapist and speak to. If you cannot trust those in Ghana, quickly, because I'm telling you, this thing will lead you somewhere you will never like. You will regret for the rest of your life. Afenyo Markin, you need serious help. Because if you don't stop it now, then it's going to mix with bipolar. And that is where it gets dangerous. Every single thing you do clearly shows that you want to belong. You want to be seen. This was a clear, good opportunity for the NPP to grill Mr. Bafuboni. It was a clear, good opportunity to prove to Ghanaians that your party wasn't following Torkonu because she is your party member. This was the only time Ankabubenya Adiachra Ghana said, oh, Torkonu won kan hu yene de hia say ye ose ye esokru no ene na ose ye. This was your opportunity, but it is because of what you are suffering from. The belonging, that syndrome that always every time you want it to be about you. You know, when you sent Deborah to this kid's school, Ghana for Muntie, I am in same way in country. Tema Torkonu, a General Legal Council, or a chairman, no, Bafu Bonnie was on that board. Tema talk Afenyo marking, a smart Deborah, a manicon Koran school with 2 thugs posing as national security, police for Bechin. When the case was referred, the gentleman petitioned GLC. Do you know Bafu Bonnie was on that committee? But what happened was Torkonu took over the case and said Torkonu and Samokujato and said they should not disband Afenyo marking. And that the lady, that lawyer lady, Deborah, no, they were supposed to disband Deborah. Deborah, they did not touch her. They just told Deborah, Deborah should go and write an apology letter. Because they know, when they disband Deborah, Afenyo marking will have to lose his license too. Bafu Bonnie could have contested that to make sure you were never a lawyer in Ghana. But you see, because you are not intelligent, you think everything should be about you. So you thought today you can embarrass the man sitting there. This man, when he learned the law, you say, well, now, for all you know, no, that time now when you but that does not also stop you from questioning him. So you had the opportunity to question this man, to grill this man, to let us know whether he's qualified or not. But you chose your syndrome, your inferiority complex, that thing that is making you wanting to belong. You chose that over leading a group that are foolish to also recognize that. In the end, MPP could not take part in this vetting. It's because of this special needs child. Only the NPP. He needs help. The guy needs help. Can't you see it? I can play about 5 videos of Afenyo marking. Now I share videos in Yana. You ask yourself, hey, why didn't we see Afenyo marking needs help? Mr. P, Mr. S, get me videos of Afenyo marking. Now me bon chiramo. So when you abotana would see ni abo say he needs help. It's no Metwana Mukacha who said no. There's a problem. The NPP, they need to see it quickly. The guy needs the help, and you people are failing. Afenyo marking needs help.
The only way the media can help us succeed is to ensure a balance.
Take your time, analyze it very well. Put your political lens aside. We are helping a brother. We are helping take a brother out of some kind of syndrome. And the guy, if we don't help him now, we will lose somebody or kind of parliament. Afenyo marking needs a therapist. Now look. At a point, he even went ahead to attack a clerk in parliament.
For me, we have to ask the relevant questions. You are aware that some of the nominees, we don't even questions. Where we have to ask the relevant questions, we'll ask. Nothing will stop us from asking the necessary questions. It's not every nominee. Some of their nominees spend 5 minutes. NDC is always up to intimidating people. They think that they must always bully. We will not accept any bully. They can call us micro-minority. They can say whatever they want to say. We've been cooperating with them. Today we agreed to do 3. The clerk to the committee is a partisan clerk. She is a typical NDC. She agrees with them, and then she advertises and informs people to come. All the practice has always been that chairman ranking would agree as to who and who will come. Yesterday, there was no agreement. The chairman was with me, no meeting. Then in the night, 10 p.m., the clerk advertised 10. This morning, my deputy was here. They had a pre-sitting. They agreed to 3. Later in the afternoon, they said 4. And then again, they said that, oh, let's compromise on 1 more. We said, okay, then he made it 5. Just as we finished the 5th, we realized that they've paraded several other nominees, dressed, and then they thought that we will boycott. We will not boycott. We will not boycott. We will not boycott.
But you will destroy the equipment.
I'm saying that we will not boycott. Thank you very much. What do you have tomorrow?
All right.
We've agreed. ECG. I had the privilege of chairing the board in July. Because I'm a businessman, the first question I ask myself is that how can... The only way the media can help us succeed is to ensure...
So let's put partisan things aside, politics, NDC, MPP. Aglo, Mumbompa Yama Afenyo Makin. I have seen it. And so many people watching me tonight, they've seen it. Psychologically, he's struggling. Emotionally, he's struggling. Whatever he didn't get when he was growing up, he thinks he can get all now. He sees every opinion as a combative opinion. He sees every person who challenge his reasoning as an enemy. He's suffering from this self-depreciation syndrome whereby he always wants to be seen. We need to take, you see, Parliament needs a psychological department. And I don't say this with malice. Parliament needs it. And if we don't take our time, take a step back and watch the gestures, comments, and some of the things some of our politicians do, sometimes we might miss it and we will end up blaming each other. Afenyo Makin is a typical example of a politician who needs a professional therapist. Because of this thing he's going through, the NPP today could not question Bafuboni one question. Because of this syndrome. Because of this he's going through. Because of this that is destroying this guy. Guys, I beg you. Talk to him. Sit him down. Talk to Speaker. Let Speaker give him a week or 2. A month. Let him leave the scene. Go out of the country. If he doesn't trust therapists in Ghana, he can go out there and seek that help. The guy is depreciating in reasoning. In any serious country, Afenyo Makin will be kept at a recovery center. You need to help him. You people might think it's a joke. And I know now you're going to start paying attention. He's a special needs child who grew out of pain. He wants to belong. It's making him make basic life mistakes. Leading a political party like the NPP, and you have somebody like this who basically cannot be controlled emotionally, intellectually. Somebody who feels that he needs to wear better shoes than his opponent. Somebody who feels that the tie he wears should be expensive than the water his people drink. Somebody who is always competing with people how he looks. This person is suffering, and is suffering deeply. He needs our help. You might not like me, but take a step back, you NPP, and watch the guy carefully. Take a step back. But the day will come, Kevin Taylor can't say same way. That's all I can do. We have sat back, we have analyzed. I hear about 200 videos of Afenyo marking. It is not good. It is getting worse every single day. Every day he's depreciating. Every single day. Depreciating in his actions, in his thoughts, the way he reacts. Every single day. If it's not about him, it shouldn't be about anybody. The NPP is losing grounds. Things that you collectively want to do because of this guy, where he is now. Afenyo marking is like he's in a box with a tiny hole of a reflection, light reflection, and that is what he's chasing. And you people should help him. He's in a very dark room. The only thing he's seeing is a tiny hole that is bringing in just a single ray of light. He needs you people. Put politics aside. He needs you people. And that's all that I can say.
The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it. The NPP cannot be underestimated. You know it, I know it.